Hey guys, my name is Emilie Maihs, or most people just call me Emie. I'm originally from Germany. I'm an international student athlete at the University of Kentucky and currently playing Division 1 soccer here. I'm 22 years old and yeah, welcome to the show and chat with Dan.
Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here. Joining me today, what can I say? I'm already having the best Sunday by far, the best way to finish up the week, because I have here with me the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, and even the incredible Emie. Emie, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. As I said here, this is a perfect day already, right? And cool. So for those who are tuning in, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot, but also in the description below you're gonna find all of Emie's social media. I mean, you should know why she's super badass. Let's find out why. Let's share some love, support her, and without further ado, let's jump in. So I want to start this whole conversation by throwing out the first question, right? Which is, when you think about the girl who started playing football in Germany before she ever imagined coming to America, what do you think she would be most surprised to see about your life today?
I think she'd be most surprised by how big her work become. And I grew up in a really small town in Germany. And when I started playing soccer, I wasn't thinking about America or Division 1 soccer or even building a life on another continent. I was just a kid who loved being outside and playing soccer and probably as of right now talking way too much. So I think she looked at my life now and be like, wait, we actually did all of that. So but I also think she'd recognize me immediately because I've been always a curious person and I've always wanted to know what happens if I try something that seems a little too big or even unrealistic. And honestly, I'm really happy that growing up didn't completely take the kid out of me. And I, still get excited to, about those small things and still having fun and see the best in life. And I would say my world just became much bigger, but I don't think I had to become an entirely different person to get here.
Jawohl. And when did you realize, right? So back then, back home, when did you realize I really want to see how far I can take this?
I would say when I kind of started playing with the boys and it kind of went on and I joined my first women's team, I kind of knew I was meant to do something bigger and I knew I'm capable of it. So, and I've been always a curious person, so I wanted to travel. So, and then I could have combined it here in the States, my studies and soccer. So I was like, okay, that's my shot. I gotta take it. And I loved soccer since I'm 4, so it was always a big part of me and a big part of my identity. So, and if I can make a living out of soccer, I was like, okay, I gotta give it a shot. And if it's not working out, I can always go back home.
What was the hardest part of leaving your family, friends, home, basically, right? To this new country, new culture, new experiences, like how difficult it was at first.
I think the hardest part is something you don't fully understand until you've already left. And when you move away, you're not just choosing a new life, you're accepting that you're going to miss parts of your old one. And birthday's gonna happen without you, family moments will happen without you, and your friends continue growing and changing. And sometimes you come home and everything looks exactly the same, but somehow it feels different because you're kind of different. So that was harder for me than learning how things work in America or speaking English. But I would say it also taught me that missing home doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. You can be incredibly grateful for the life you're building and still miss the people and places you left behind. So I think, maturity is realizing that two things can be true at the same time and a decision can be right for you and still be difficult.
So, for those who don't know, you're a talented, super badass goalkeeper. I have watched a little bit what you do, loved it, super talented. But tell me, when you're standing alone in your goal and you can see the entire game developing in front of you, does that position make you feel more isolated from the games, or more connected to everything that is happening?
I would say definitely more connected because like goalkeeper is such an interesting position because from the outside you can look completely separated from everyone else, but mentally you're involved in almost every part of the game. So you see the shape of the team, where the spaces are opening up, and where runs developing, and sometimes you recognize danger before it actually looks dangerous. So even when I'm not touching the ball, my mind is constantly working, and I also love the communication side of it. You're helping organize people, giving information, and sometimes seeing things that your teammates like physically can't see because of where they are on the field. So I didn't start soccer as a goalkeeper, so it wasn't this childhood master plan where I knew that was going to be my position. But looking at my personality now, it makes a lot of sense that I ended up there because I like responsibility and I like communicating. So I like seeing the bigger picture in the long run, and I like being in a position where like what I do, and I can genuinely help people. So I definitely feel more connected to the players.
Mm. And back when you started, what was the position you first started?
I started as a striker actually, and then kind of ended up in goal. Our goalkeeper got injured, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, Emie, you gotta take the shot." And there were scouts, and I got scouted in my first ever game playing a goal, and I was like, "Okay, well, I think that's my position at this point."
Yeah. I think everybody starts as a striker, right? I think it's kind of a
This
something
kind of
everybody,
thing, like, yeah.
right? Because for some people that have, interviews, or even me, for example, that I do play too, I
Hmm.
started as well as a striker, and that was just the whole thing. And it's so fun because then from striker, then you go from midfield, and you're like, yeah, maybe not. Then defense, and then okay, what do I have left? Goalkeeping. I'll take it. Why not? So,
Yeah.
but it's fun. Definitely, it's fun. Now, switching to our first activity, speed round questions. Yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask you a couple of questions, but you can only answer yes, no, or pass.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Starting with the first one. Have you ever blamed yourself for a goal that wasn't really your fault?
Yes.
Do you talk to yourself during matches?
Yes.
Have you ever yelled at your defenders?
Yes.
Would you rather save a penalty or score one?
Can I still only answer with yes, or can I say it?
Say it. Yeah, you can say it.
No, I would definitely save a penalty. That's the easy one.
Okay. Have you pretend you weren't nervous before a big game?
Yes.
Do you watch your own highlights?
Yes.
Have you ever cried after a match?
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to replay a match immediately after it ended?
Yes.
If you could steal one goalkeeper skill from another player, would you?
Yes. I think like I'm competitive, but not too proud to borrow talent. So especially Manuel Neuer is like a big role model since I'm a kid. So definitely gonna take his calmness under pressure, I guess, if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up watching Oliver Kahn, Manuel Neuer.
Yeah.
At least to me, those are the two best goalkeepers ever in history. So
Yeah, I agree.
for sure, for sure, pretty cool. So a goalkeeper can make incredible saves, right? But sometimes the only thing people can remember is the one goal they score you, right? So how have you learned not to let one moment rewrite the story to tell yourself about your entire performance?
Hmm. I think that one of the biggest things soccer has taught me is to separate my performance from my identity, and goalkeeping can be unforgiving because you can do almost everything right, and then one mistake becomes the moment where what everybody remembers. And our mistakes are also pretty difficult to hide. So if I make one at the wrong time, there's usually a scoreboard involved, and I used to take those moments very personally. And now I try to treat mistakes more like informations and ask me the questions, okay, like what happened? Why did it happen? Was it my positioning, my decision making, my technique? Like, what can I actually take from it? And I think there's a huge difference between saying that wasn't good enough and saying, I'm not good enough. And the first one gives you somewhere to go, and the second one just kind of keeps you stuck and in the loop. So I still get frustrated, and because I care a lot and I care a lot about how I'm doing in a game. And I don't think the goal is to stop caring. The goal is to care without allowing one moment to decide what you believe about yourself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, what's been harder for you? Making a mistake in front of everyone, or sitting on the bench watching someone else get the opportunity you wanted?
Honestly, sitting on the bench, because making a mistake in front of everyone hurts for sure. But when I'm on the field, I still have some control over what happens next, and I can make another save, I can communicate, I can respond to my mistake. And sitting on the bench is different because you can prepare well, work incredibly hard, feel ready for it, and still not control the final decision. And I think that's challenging your ego, kind of, and it forces you to ask whether your confidence only exists when someone else is choosing you, or like whether you can still believe in what you bring when they aren't. So I think learning to support someone else while still wanting that opportunity for yourself is actually a very mature part of team sports, and those two feelings can coexist. Yeah, and again, the lesson is much bigger than just soccer, so it's definitely way harder for me to sit on the bench and not be able to control what's actually happening.
Mm. Now, goalkeeping requires a strange combination of confidence and self awareness. So, how do you balance between those two things?
Mm, I actually think real confidence requires self-awareness. So confidence to me isn't walking around thinking I'm amazing or perfect at everything. It's knowing what I'm good at and knowing where I need to improve and trusting myself anyway. And you need enough confidence to step onto the field and believe you can make that save. But you also need enough humility to watch film the next morning and think, okay, I have absolutely no idea what I was trying to accomplish there. So, and I think both are important, and I can criticize a decision without questioning my entire ability as a goalkeeper. And I think one of the healthiest things as an athlete you can learn is how to have high standards without making their self-worth dependent on meeting those standards perfectly every single day, because everybody makes mistakes, and it's fine to make mistakes because you're going to learn from them.
And after, let's say, right, you had this very difficult match. Sure, there were some mistakes. So, how are you able to protect yourself from those things after the match, and not basically not let your day being ruined because you will be constantly thinking about it? Like, is there an activity you do to kind of relax? Like, what do you do?
For example, like I like to go on walks. I go a lot like on walks to kind of have the, yeah, to clear my mind, have the space to think about, reflect kind of. I like to talk to my family. I'm actually kind of happy that I'm born in the time of the, yeah, cell phones and able to talk to them, even on the other side of the world. So my mom was always like a huge supporter of me. She went to every single game when I was in Germany, no matter what, and she always kind of helped me through it. And I think that's like a thing. And I think it's really important that you have a life outside of soccer and you have things you enjoy. And even it sounds silly, but like making a list of things you enjoy and just picking out one thing that you're doing, so you kind of, you don't get stuck in this loop and rewriting the whole time the same situation in your brain, because this can get so exhausting and so, yeah, mentally exhausting on your part. So for me, definitely it's walking, and I like crafting, I like painting. So that's like some things I would do then, and definitely talking to my friends and family.
Mm. Is there a part of your personality that you think it became very strong specifically because you chose to be a goalkeeper?
Yes, I would say the ability kind of to take responsibility. As a goalkeeper, yeah, you don't really get to disappear after something goes wrong. You're like, you might concede a goal and be disappointed in yourself, but 5 seconds later, you still have to organize your defense and communicate like you completely trust what happens next. And there isn't really time for a full existential crisis, so you can schedule that for after the game. But yeah, soccer taught me how to reset, I guess. And it also strengthens my voice, but not only in the sense of being loud. I think leadership is really about understanding what the people around you need. And sometimes somebody needs accountability, and sometimes they need to hear encouragement, or they need you to show them that you still believe in them, no matter what happened and if they did a mistake. So that's something I really value, because helping other people become more confident has always meant a lot to me. So I think responsibility is something goalkeeping has taught me in the first place.
And now that you had the opportunity to play in Germany and also in the US, what are some of the difference that you have seen between them on the game, or they're not at all?
I would say it's definitely different, kind of. Okay, like I can't compare it from my last team, because my last team was a men's team where I played before coming to the US. But when I compare it with the women's, I would say it's definitely more physical here. It's more, I would say, more tactical in Europe. So it's definitely, you gotta get used to the style of play, and it took me a while to kind of get used to it. But I'm here in the States now for 2 years, so I had like a lot of time to kind of get along with the new style, and I really enjoy playing in the US. And I hope one day I'm gonna play in the NWSL if this would work out. That's my goal, and I want to stay in the States for now. So that's hopefully like a plan, or hopefully a door what's opening at some point.
I mean, we all know that's gonna happen. Are you kidding me? You
I
know,
hope so. If you say
I
so,
mean,
then I just gotta believe in you.
I wouldn't be surprised if at some point I see you at the World Cup with Germany to it,
You
or
have high
or
standards for me, I see.
or who knows, maybe at some point even winning a Champions League.
That would be awesome. I wouldn't complain about
You
that.
know, just saying here, who knows, right?
Yeah.
So, and when that happens, I'll be like, "Psst, I knew it. Wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, that was talent right
I
there. Come
told
on.
her.
So pretty cool. If football disappeared tomorrow, what part of Emily would still be exactly the same?
I think, as I said before, my curiosity, and probably the part of me that really enjoys making other people happy. Soccer is a huge part of my life, but I never wanted to be the only thing that makes my life interesting. And I think if soccer actually disappeared tomorrow, I'd still want to travel and see the world. I still want to meet people who grew up completely different from me, and I'd still ask way too many questions, and I still, yeah, want to learn new things and try things I'm probably not immediately good at, and find out what else I'm capable of. And I think I've always been someone who gets excited pretty easily, and I actually hope I never grow out of that. And I can be very serious about things I want while still laughing at a lot of and enjoying random parts of my life that have absolutely nothing to do with achievement or anything else. So soccer gave me an incredible direction, but I don't think it created my sense of purpose. And I'm very ambitious about my soccer career, but I'm also ambitious about learning to become a better person every day. And I think it's, yeah, more than just this one chapter in my life.
And what do you think the 10-year-old Emmy would think about you right now?
My 10-year-old Emmy, what she would think. Yeah, probably she would be proud, for sure. She would be proud. And I think like she would kind of be surprised as well that we took it so far. For her, soccer was just kind of, I don't want to say kind of hobby, but like it was like she always dreamed to become a professional soccer player. And I always was excited to go places. When I was a kid, we would always go to Denmark for vacations, and like sometimes to the Netherlands or other places. But I just love being around different, yeah, people, different nationalities, and learning new things. So I think she'd be very happy with the step I took, and she'd be very proud of me that I took this step. I was never really homesick, so I think she wouldn't be surprised if I tell her I'm in America right now, and she would probably think, okay, that's super sick what you're doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's interesting how sometimes if we let ourselves to stop for a second and realize how
Yeah,
much we have done to be where we are right now, we can definitely amaze you on how, yeah, on all the hard work that you have done to be where you're
Yeah.
right now. You know what I mean?
No, I
So
think so too. The other day, I talked actually to a person. He was working at a gas station, and we kind of came into a talk. And he kind of asked like, "Where you from? Where's your accent from?" And like we kind of like went in a conversation, and he basically told me that he never even went out of Lexington, so the city here where I'm staying right now. And then it kind of made me realize like that I'm sometimes still finding myself taking things for granted. And it's such a privilege to be here. And I'm such grateful that I have those opportunities. Like I've visited 13, 14 different countries. I don't know how many different states I've been to already, and like 15, 16 states or something. And I get around and I have this privilege to see places. And I think we all have to be sometimes more grateful about the little things in life. And I think like those moments are, yeah, such special for me, like to hear their stories and to see how, yeah, how other people's lives kind of get written by God. So
when you eventually look back on this chapter of your life, not just soccer, right? But leaving Germany, becoming your own person somewhere new. What do you hope this journey changed in you?
I hope it makes me less afraid of uncertainty and without making me less appreciative of what I've already have. Kind of what I've just touched base on. And I think when we're younger, we imagine that all the successful people always know exactly what they're doing. But the older I get, the more I realize that most people are just making the best decision they can with the information they have and kind of adjusting along the way. And some of the best decision I've made started with thinking I've absolutely no idea how this is going to work out, but I think moving countries was definitely one of them. Um, but I hope this chapter is, yeah, teaching me that I don't need the entire road mapped out before I start walking. At the same time, I never want ambition to make me so focused on whatever comes next that I completely miss what's happening right now. And I want to keep chasing big things. But I also want to notice the life in between them. So the people I meet, the places I get to experience, and even the calls home when I'm on a walk, or the stupid jokes with friends, and the days that probably won't make a highlight reel, but at the end of the day, those are the ones you remember. And I think the biggest part for me is like when I'm getting older, I'd rather have a few stories that end with, whoa, that went terribly wrong, or like whatever. But like at the end, I don't want to say I spent my entire life wondering what might have happened if I tried it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's the part.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing, to make sure that you don't have any regrets,
Yeah.
um to I mean, we all have family members or friends or whatever, that they will be constantly saying, "Oh, I wish I could have done this, or I wish I could have tried this," or things like that.
Mhm.
I always keep this mindset, like, make sure that what you're doing is the best you can, to not have any regrets to it, because sure, one day we'll be all old, and I don't think it would be nice to, once you're old, to be like, oh, I wasted my life on this, or why I
Yeah.
didn't do that, or try this, like all of that, right? So it's good, the fact that you have like this idea to just do the best you can with the time you have, enjoy and learn at the same time, and I
Yeah.
think that's the best way to it.
Yeah, I think so too. Never know what's happened next, and you never know what God has planned for you. So I think kind of live each day as it would be your last. I know it's not like quite true and not quite manageable to actually do it, but like kind of be appreciative of the small things. And yeah, I think that's what matters the most in the end.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And for those who don't know, going back a little bit with your soccer career, how the whole process works for you to become pro and start playing in the NWSL. Like, how would that
For
work for you?
I think like it would work as you would get scouted, you get invited for a trial. And if they sign you, you have to make a visa adjustments. It kind of depends because right now I'm on a F1 visa, so I'm on a student visa. So I got to change my visa, and so to get a work visa to be allowed to work here, so to get signed, and yeah, you would probably have a trial, as I said, and working with the pro team, seeing if it works out, and if you get signed, you get the visa right, and from there you go and just play soccer as you used to when you were 4 years old, I guess.
Yeah. And have you got any scout looking for you, or?
As of right now, I don't, but I have still 3 years of eligibility left, so I want to make my bachelor's either way. And um, if I want, like right now, it's planned. I'm doing a double major right now in a communication school and the business school, and I'm trying to do my MBA afterwards, so the master's. So hopefully I can still finish it, but if I get the opportunity before in 2 years, then I can play in 2 years professionally. I would take it and make the MBA afterwards, so my master's. But yeah, I think we see how, yeah, where life takes me, which doors opening up, and yeah, what God has planned for me.
So in other words, badass all the way, right? So
Thanks, I guess. If you say so.
absolutely, absolutely. And in general, what motivates you? We all have those days that we want to quit, right?
Yeah.
It's inevitable, happens every time, regardless of what you do, right? So how you stay positive on one of those days?
I would say definitely kind of to talk back about the like 4-year-old Emmy or 10-year-old Emmy, kind of looking back at it, how, yeah, joyful and cheerful she was about soccer. And if she would imagine that we get used to like playing every day soccer and we have the opportunity to play every day soccer, she would be probably freaking out and be so like super happy about it. So for sure, like you will not be excited to wake up every morning at 6:30 in the morning to have practice at 8 and then another time at 1:30, and your body is going to be exhausted and your mind at some point will get exhausted as well. You had a bad practice maybe, and then you have another one in the afternoon and you don't look forward to it. But I kind of try to see always the positive in things and kind of try to not let one bad shot, for example, or one bad save lead to another one and another one and another one, because then it's like a kind of a circle, just like repeating itself. The loop is kind of repeating itself and it's just going downwards. So I'm trying to find the positive, and even for example, if I make a bad save, I'm just like kind of trying to tell myself, okay, like you maybe did like one bad save, but the next three ones, they're yours. And it's kind of like pushing me into it. And as we kind of talked before about it, to find some things outside of soccer that bring me joy as well is definitely a part that's pretty helpful to just kind of debrief and kind of figure out your thoughts and kind of like think about the day and kind of reflect what happened. And I would say like, yeah, those two things like help me a lot, talking to my family, talking to my friends about it, and just even if I had a bad day, you're gonna wake up in the morning and the new day is there. So you got an opportunity to shine every day and you gotta prove yourself every day. And there's, yeah, not a lot of room for complaining about it. So I think that's something I needed to like kind of taught myself at one point, but it's getting better over time. So kind of find the joy in the small things.
When everything is said and done, right? Beyond the matches, trophies, and the career, what do you hope people remember about the person behind the player?
Well, I hope that people remember how I treated them. And of course, we talked about soccer, and I care a lot about soccer, and I'm ambitious, and I want to see how far I can take all this journey. And I'd be lying if I said winning and trophies and success don't matter to me, because they do. But eventually, someday, somebody will wear your jersey and the records get broken, and they don't care about if you won or lost that game. But the moments that feel enormous to us right now, they eventually become like stories we tell years later. So, but what stays with people much longer is how you made them feel. So I worked in Germany before coming to the States. I worked in a kindergarten full time, and I worked 4 years with kids with disabilities and coached youth soccer. So kids were always a big part of my life, and working with kids taught me that pretty early. So they're not impressed by titles or followers or what level you played at. They remember whether you showed up for them and whether you made them feel like they mattered. And I think there's something incredibly meaningful about watching a kid start believing in themselves, because maybe for a moment you believed in them first, and but like seeing them try something they were convinced they couldn't do, and then watching their whole face change when they realize they actually can, that's something that stays with you. So I never want success to change that part about me, and I hope moreover that my teammates, for example, know that I cared about them beyond what they could do on the soccer field. And if even if younger girls see my journey, I hope it gives them permission to take a path that might not make sense to everybody else. And I think you can be ambitious and kind at the same time, and you can be incredibly competitive and still genuinely want other people to succeed. Though those things don't have to work against each other. And I still want to achieve a lot in my life, but I don't think that success is only about what you can collect for yourself. And I think a big part of it is what your life gives to other people too. So because for me, leaving a mark doesn't mean having as many people as possible remember my name. It means maybe somebody believed in themselves a little more because I believed in them, and maybe someone took a chance because they watched me take one, and maybe my story made somebody think, why not me? So if I can do that while also chasing everything I want for myself, then I think that's a life I'd be really proud of. And I think that it's something much more valuable than just playing soccer.
What do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
The best title for this episode?
Yep.
That's a good question. I don't know, maybe something like moving continents for a big dream or something. I don't know. It's hard. I should have you should have told me that before, and I'd think about
You
it,
know,
bro.
that could be a title. It's Hearth. Boom.
That actually could be a title, maybe.
You know, it's Hearth and just some points to it. You know, like to add some
Yeah, it's
suspense.
hard and like dot 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 kind of vibe.
Yes, yes, yes. It's Hearth. Or
The girl who keeps saying yes. Because I said yes to every opportunity.
oh,
Or
yeah, okay. We're
the girl
cooking. I
who
like it. I
kept
like it. Yeah.
like the girl who kept saying yes. Or
The girl who kept saying yes. Or the girl who kept dreaming.
or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or something if you kind of more want soccer related, kind of like beyond the game, beyond the game, becoming more than the player, or what happens if I try?
That's if I
Or
try.
Loki,
Yes.
chasing the unknown.
Chasing the unknown. I think
But
that's a winner.
chasing the unknown is pretty good.
Yeah, I
Or
think
what
that's the
happens if I
winner.
try? I like what happens if I try as well, to be honest.
Okay, so
You
we
can
give
do
it.
both. What happens if I try? Chasing the unknown.
No. Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Like, what if we put like the whole like those two things like all
Yeah.
in one sentence?
We are cooking today. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah. I think that's the title. I think that's a title. Yeah,
That's a good one, seriously.
I th- I think we have a winner here
We
for
definitely
sure.
have
We have a
one.
winner. Yeah, yeah. That's the one. I like it. Yeah, and you know what can I say? Since question one, I already knew why you're badass, but I think this is proof enough for everybody who's listening to this or watching this to be like, okay, yeah, I know why she's badass now. Come on. Yeah, this is amazing. I mean, I'm super sure that eventually, yeah, I'm super sure that great, amazing things are gonna happen to you in your career because, as I said here, you're doing it because you love it. You know, You're doing it because you love it. It's something you're passionate about, and you are also inspiring people to it. You know what I mean? That is,
Yeah.
I think, the most beautiful part to it is that sure you can have a lot of cool games and everything, but you are showing people that dreams can come true, and that's amazing. And as I was saying, at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we see you basically everywhere because you're killing it at there, sure, but
Thank you
you
so
are
much.
but you're showing support to everyone there, to those who might feel they don't have support, especially as you were saying that you work with children with disabilities, and you were giving them support, a reason to smile, a reason to laugh. You know what I mean? I think that type of thing sticks with you more and gives you more energy to continue moving forward as an award or as fame and all of that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I agree. Yeah, this is something like no money and like no, I don't know, nothing can buy you. It's just like the way you are kind of, and what people can't take away from you. Like yeah, they can take your jersey away and they can take your money away, but they cannot take away the person you are and how you made them feel at the end of the day. And I think this is always something what's been really important to me. Um, so I hope I'm never gonna lose that, and I'm never gonna lose my inner child, and to be curious and to keep dreaming big and chasing my dreams. So I think that's like, yeah, one of my biggest values about myself, I think.
There you go. Perfect. I love it. And I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I mean, this was incredible to learn a little bit about your story, about your passions, about what drives you, like all of that. I do want to thank also those who stayed the whole episode, but by this point, come on. Since question one, as I was saying, I knew why Emie is super badass. So I'm hoping you already are following her and showing some support and love. But if you don't, as soon as this
Thank you so
finished,
much.
go ahead. I'm gonna leave a description of her social media so you can check it out and find out why she's super talented and super badass. And again, Emie, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there, keep
For
rocking,
sure.
keep kicking ass, and I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you so much for the invite. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks guys for listening. And I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day. See you next time, I
Yeah.
guess.
Jawohl!